Imagine waking up one morning and your neighbor's husband is standing on your porch demanding access to your private pool. And when you refuse, the HOA actually threatens you instead of him. That's exactly what happened to me. And trust me, you won't believe how it ended. I live in a quiet suburban neighborhood. At least it's supposed to be quiet. But if you've ever dealt with an HOA, you know peace and quiet isn't always possible. And in our neighborhood, the queen of the HOA throne is none other than Bertha. Now, Bertha is, how do I put this nicely? Let's just say she believes the HOA rules were written by her, and for everyone else to follow. Mailbox the wrong shade of white. Expect a letter. Grass an inch too tall? Expect a fine. I once saw her stop a teenager for parking his car 2 inches over the painted line. That's the kind of person she is. Her husband, Carl, usually lurks in the background. But one day, Carl decided he wanted something from me. And not just something small. He wanted my pool. It started on a sunny Saturday morning. I was sipping coffee when there was a knock at my door. I opened it, and there was Carl, arms crossed, sunglasses on, looking like he owned the street. Carl, we've decided we'll be using your pool this summer. Ours is too small, and you barely use yours. So just give us the gate code. Me? Excuse me? You want what? Carl, you heard me. You barely swim. It's a waste. The community should benefit, and we'll make sure the HOA agrees. I thought he was joking. I laughed, but Carl didn't even blink. Later that day, Bertha showed up at my door, hands on hips, wagging her finger. Bertha, you're being selfish. Pools are community assets. Everyone can see yours from the street, which makes it public. You don't get to hog it. I slammed the door in her face. But that was just the beginning. Within a week, I started receiving HOA violation letters. They claimed things like, my pool fence wasn't up to community standards. My pool should be shared for wellness. And one even said I was violating HOA guidelines by restricting neighbor access. It was insane. They were making up rules as they went along. Neighbors started whispering. Some avoided me. Others asked if it was true that my pool was going to be open for community use. Bertha, meanwhile, strutted around telling people that I'd been hoarding resources. She acted like my backyard was a park. And Carl? Oh, he made it worse. He brought over his grandkids one afternoon, and when I told him to leave, he said, Carl, the HOA will approve this soon anyway. We're just getting a head start. That's when I realized this wasn't going to stop unless I fought back. So I did some digging. I went to the county records office and got the original HOA bylaws. I stayed up late reading every page, every clause, every note. And guess what? Not only did the HOA have zero claim over private pools, there was a clause that specifically said no HOA rules could force access to personal property. It was crystal clear. My pool was mine, and no one could touch it. But I wasn't done yet. I printed copies of the bylaws, highlighted the clauses, and waited for the next HOA meeting. The meeting was packed. Bertha was sitting front and center like a queen, Carl right beside her, arms folded like he was ready to win. When the pool issue came up, Bertha stood up. Bertha, it's obvious. His pool is visible from the road, and therefore it's part of the community aesthetic. We demand shared access. Carl added, and if he refuses, he's breaking the spirit of the HOA. That's grounds for penalties. People murmured. The board members looked uncomfortable. That's when I stood up, holding the papers. Actually, I've got the original HOA bylaws. And let me read you Section 14, Clause B. Personal property, including but not limited to pools, gardens, and recreational spaces, shall remain private and shall not be claimed by the association or its members. The room went dead silent. One board member cleared his throat. Is that accurate? I handed them copies. They scanned and nodded. The board president finally spoke. Bertha, Carl, this matter is closed. The pool belongs to him. End of discussion. Bertha's face turned beet red. Carl muttered, this is ridiculous, and stormed out of the room. After that day, the letters stopped. No more demands. No more community access. Now, every time I swim, I make sure to wave at Bertha's house, just to remind her whose pool it really is.